Hi everybody, I'm so happy that you clicked this video because this video is going to transform your life. So believe it or not, regular exercise has changed my life and I've had the privilege of helping my patients to taste this inexpensive medicine, basically exercise, to help their medical conditions. I've had many patients treat their arthritis, fibromyalgia, hypertension, diabetes, and the list keeps going. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, I'm Dr. Sri. I'm a board certified family medicine, sports medicine doctor. In this video, I'm going to help you how to start exercising as a complete beginner. Okay, without further ado, let's get started. So just FYI, I've divided this video into multiple chapters. So this way you can navigate to particular information that you want just by accessing the timeline. So let's get started. So there are 4 components of exercise that one needs to focus. So one is the aerobic exercise, which is basically to strengthen the heart. The next one is strength training for stronger muscles. Then we have the balance exercises to improve the balance, and this is especially important for elderly people. And finally, stretching exercises to improve flexibility. Now let us talk about aerobic exercise first. So in brief, the aerobic exercise is to help to strengthen one's heart, thereby helping to improve their fitness. And we know from studies that the improved fitness is tied to improved longevity, so basically increase lifespan in this planet, and then that too with a good quality of life. Okay, so now let's find out how to get started. So in order to get the maximum benefits of exercise, so one should aim to get at least a minimum of 150 minutes of moderate intensity exercise or 75 minutes of vigorous intensity exercise, or a combination of both. But let us say if this person is a complete beginner and they are completely new to exercising, then I usually start them with a low intensity exercise and I progress them to a moderate intensity exercise in a period of 3 months or so. So what is this low intensity, moderate intensity, vigorous intensity, right? So this is where I'm talking about the exercise intensity. So kind of like how much I need to challenge the heart. So in order to measure the exercise intensity, the test that I'm going to talk about first is called as a talk test. This is something that I really like because you don't need to have any special gadgets to measure the exercise intensity. So based on the talk test, so let us talk about what is low intensity exercise. Ask yourself if you can talk easily while doing your favorite kind of exercise. You're operating at a low intensity if you can easily talk in entire sentences with little to no break for a breath. So when we say moderate intensity, you should be able to talk but not sing while doing an exercise. This means that your voice will be strained and your breathing will be more noticeable, but you'll still be able to hold a conversation. So when we say vigorous intensity, it'll be hard for you to carry out a conversation. You'll be unable to talk more than a few words without pausing to catch your breath. I would not recommend beginners or person with recent heart disease to start exercising at this intensity. You see how easy it is to use this test? You don't need any special gadgets. You can start using this method right away and make sure that you improve your fitness. But let's say if you're someone who want to take the fitness to the next level, right? And you want to make sure that I exercise the right target zone for my heart, then you have to measure the heart rate during exercise. So this method of tracking can be especially beneficial for individuals on medication that influence their heart rate, such as beta blockers, and those who have recently been affected by heart disease and wish to ensure that they don't overexert themselves during early stages of recovery. You would need a paper and pen, a calculator, and your resting heart rate number. Obviously, you would need a heart rate monitor to use this method while exercising. You can either use the cardio equipment heart rate monitor, or a heart rate monitor watch, or a chest strap heart rate monitor. The heart rate method that I'm going to teach you is called as the Karvonen heart rate method. I'm going to use me as an example and I'll show you my target heart rate range for low, moderate, and vigorous intensity exercise. So my resting heart rate is 55 beats per minute. My age is 33 years old. So let's find out my heart rate max. The formula for heart rate max is going to be 207 minus 0.7 multiply age. So once I plug in the numbers, it comes to 183 beats per minute. So that's my heart rate max. So the heart rate reserve formula is going to be percentage intensity multiplied by heart rate max minus heart rate rest. And once you find that number, you add your resting heart rate. Let's find the intensity range for low, moderate, and vigorous. The low intensity is going to be 30 to 40%. Moderate intensity is going to be 40 to 60%. Vigorous intensity is going to be 60 to 80%. So let's plug in the intensity numbers into the heart rate reserve formula to get the heart rate range for low, moderate, and vigorous intensity. So the target heart rate for low intensity, which is between 30 to 40% intensity, is going to be between 93 beats per minute to 106 beats per minute. The target heart rate for moderate intensity, which is between 40 to 60% intensity, is going to be between 106 beats per minute to 131 beats per minute. The target heart rate for vigorous intensity, which is between 60 to 80% intensity, is going to be between 131 beats per minute to 157 beats per minute. So what we know so far is that 1 minute of vigorous intensity exercise positively benefits the body in a similar manner to 2 minutes of moderate intensity exercise. However, vigorous intensity exercise carries more risk for injuries, and they can trigger a heart attack from an underlying silent heart disease, although very rare. Therefore, it is advised to gradually climb the ladder of physical activity rather than immediately engaging in vigorous exercises due to potential health risks. So the American College of Sports Medicine recommends to start with moderate intensity exercise, but I usually start with lower intensity exercise and gradually progress to moderate intensity exercise. So some of my patients might get worried saying that if I start with low intensity exercise, maybe I'm not improving my fitness, I'm just like wasting my time. But what does the evidence show? So studies have shown that if your baseline fitness is low, so in order to understand this, so if you're not able to run 1 mile in 12 minutes, then your average fitness is low, which means that even a low intensity exercise will improve your fitness. That's promising, right? Because think about this. When we say exercise, immediately people think about, oh, I have to do this hard work every day, but you don't have to. You can just start slowly and build your fitness level. And once you start getting more comfortable with it, then you can start with moderate intensity exercise. So remember, fitness matters. So what I mean by that is that, so let us say I'm walking today, right? So today walking can be a moderate intensity exercise. But in 3 months later, the walking can become easier. So it becomes more like a low intensity exercise. But then your fitness can get stagnated if you don't challenge yourself. So that's why it's important to keep progressing with your intensity. And that's why I've kind of like taught you these 2 tests, the talk test and the heart rate test, and you can use those tests to make sure that you're challenging enough so that your heart gets the exercise, it keeps improving the fitness, and you get the benefits from improved fitness. So a question that I often get asked is that, you know what, I've got like only like 5-10 minutes of free time, maybe in the afternoon. By exercising only for 5 minutes, does it still improve your fitness? And the answer is yes, every minute counts, okay? So hope you got a good grasp. So basically, any exercise that challenges your heart, and that could be elliptical, biking, swimming, home videos such as like jumping jacks, kettlebell swings, you name it. So let me give you an example of what I did this morning. So this morning I chose to do running for 10 minutes on a treadmill, and my heart rate was around like 130 to 140 beats per minute. And then I did biking for 10 minutes, and my heart rate was around like 130 beats per minute. And then I did walking incline, and my heart rate was around like 110 beats per minute. So basically I got 20 minutes of vigorous intensity, which is equivalent to 40 minutes of moderate intensity. Along with it, I did a 10 minutes of moderate intensity, which is the incline walking. Now let us look at the next component of exercise, which is basically strength training. So for strength training, basically in brief, we're just trying to make the muscles stronger, and thereby, 1, we can prevent injuries from happening. In addition, we also know that the overall health gets improved by engaging in strength training, and this is also tied to improved longevity. So now let's find out how to get started. So the American College of Sports Medicine came with a recommendation of doing strength training of minimum 2 to 3 days per week. So you want to make sure that you allow adequate time for muscle recovery. So allow 48 hours of rest between working the same muscle groups to promote recovery. So it all depends. So let us say if you want to do 2 days per week, then you can either do Monday and then Thursday, or you can do Tuesday or Friday. But let us say if you want to do 3 days per week, then you can either do Monday, Wednesday and Friday, or you can do Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday. So the exercise should target all major muscle groups. So usually I recommend to pick 1 push exercise like push-ups or chest press, 1 pull exercise like rows or pull-ups, 1 hinge exercise like glute bridges or squats, 1 core exercise like planks, and that should be it. Each exercise you can perform 2 to 3 sets. For general fitness, aim for 6 to 12 repetitions per set. Or if you're using body weight exercises, then I would recommend doing as many repetitions as possible without going to complete failure. So let me explain what I mean by do not go to complete failure. So let us say you're doing a particular exercise. So basically you're taking that exercise to almost a failure, but still have 2 to 3 repetitions in reserve, or basically able to do another 2 to 3 repetitions if challenged in a safe form. So let me show you. So let us say I'm doing push-ups here, okay? So let us say I'm doing push-ups like, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let us say I'm coming to almost like 30, 31, 32, 33, okay? And let's say Now I'm like, 34, So that's failure, right? So that's not a complete failure, that's not a complete exhaustion, but if someone challenges me, I can still do another 2 to 3 reps. So let us say if it's a complete failure, it'll be like this. 1, 2, and you don't want to do that, right? So you want to stop when you have only 2 to 3 repetitions in rhythm. So you want to be like this. So 31, 32, and that's it. So now you still have 2 to 3 repetitions in rhythm and you stop doing that. Hi guys, can you do me a small favor? If you're finding this video really helpful, can you please make sure that you hit the like button? And this can actually help me to reach more people on YouTube. Thank you for doing that. So there are specific exercises that I suggest performing additional repetitions in order to build endurance, as certain muscles are more suited for endurance. Our classic example would be concentrating on enhancing the ability to hold a plank position for an extended period of time. So progressive overload is also very important. So basically all you have to do is to gradually increase the weight or repetitions every 1 to 2 weeks or so. If you need more guidance, please make sure that you hire a knowledgeable exercise professional who can help you exercising safely. By the way, I've got good news for you. So basically you'll have access to a free home strength training program specifically designed for individuals who are new to strength training. This program is suitable for people of all age groups and will guide you through progressive overload techniques, allowing you to advance from beginner level to an advanced level, ultimately taking your strength to new heights. What's even better is that you won't require any expensive equipment to begin your fitness journey, and you can start right away from the convenience of your own home. So I'll attach the home strength training playlist at the end of this video. So now let us talk about balance exercises. So this is really important for elderly people. So as we age, what happens is that the motor nerves that supply the muscle, they start to deteriorate a little bit. So what that means is that, so let us say if I'm walking, and if I stumble onto something, so immediately the motor nerves activate the muscles at the right time so that I'm not falling. But sometimes in elderly people, this doesn't happen in a quick fashion, and thereby before the muscles contract, they can injure themselves. So that's why it's important to make sure that we challenge the balance regularly, so that this way the motor units know that they should not give up yet. So here are some tips to challenge your balance while performing strength training exercises. So for example, one can do single leg squats or single leg lunges, or do shoulder press exercises with their feet closer together. So yoga and Tai Chi are my personal favorites to recommend to patients to get both strength training and balance, obviously depending on the type of yoga. If you have a class nearby, then you should definitely consider enrolling. So let us say if you're someone who are not able to incorporate balance exercises while doing strength training, then you can probably do just a balance exercise session as a separate exercise workout, maybe on the strength training day itself, or you can probably do it on a different day. So I'll attach a 10-minute balance exercise video at the end of this video to get you started with that. So finally, we have flexibility. So usually I would recommend engaging in stretching at least a minimum of 2 days per week. The best way to incorporate is to do dynamic stretching before strength training and static stretching after strength training. So I would recommend holding each muscle stretch for a total of 30 to 60 seconds, and that's a good way to incorporate stretching. So remember, what we have talked so far, so these are all goals, and there's no urgency to hit the goals right away. But what's urgent is to get started, right? So once you get started, then you make those small improvements, small victories, small progress, and that's all important to make sure that you can eventually hit those goals that we've talked about. I hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions or comments, please post in the comment box below. If you really found this video, I'm going to ask you a small favor. Can you please hit the like button so this video can reach more people, okay? I've got the home strength training playlist here. I've got the balance exercises here. Then I've got a 10-minute stretching exercises in the description box below. And I'll see you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.